Alright guys, so this is when trig gets a little bit too much fun in my opinion. So we're going to be solving an advance. Now you guys are going to be scared of that. Sine equation. So yeah, it's going to be multiple steps. Notice this one does want us to be in radians. So it's basically taking these past two sections, putting it all together with the good old some simple algebra. So before we do the inverse cosine, let's move everything else over first. So we're going to add the 2 over. And I'll have 16 cosine of 8x equals 8. Then I'm going to divide 16. And cosine of 8x equals 1/2. So now this is the point where I'm going to do the inverse cosine. We'll worry about the 8x right now, and I'll explain what's going on there in a little bit. Let me clear these from our last videos. So I'm going to do the inverse of cosine of 1/2. And make sure I'm in radians, which I am. So that's 1.05. Let me double check this yeah, 2 decimal places is what we're doing. So 1.05. So 8x equals 1.05. And that's technically, so that's going to be plus 2 pi n. And then don't forget from that last video, remember that cosine of negative theta equals cosine of theta. So we actually have 2 solutions here. We have that 8x also equals negative 1.05 plus 2 pi n. So remember, this is the value cosine of this equals 1/2. Cosine of 1.05 equals 1/2. That's not what x is. 8 times whatever we're going to get right now for x should be the 1.05. So how do we figure out what x is? We're going to go ahead and divide by 8 to continue to solve for x. So I'll divide by 8, divide by 8. Same thing over here, divide by 8. Divide everything by 8. And let me see, 1.05 divided by 8 is going to be 0.13 plus 0.25 pi n. And then it's also going to be negative 0.13 plus 0.25 pi n. Clean this up a bit. And that's how you solve that one. So once again, the thing, you get cosine by itself, then you do the arc cosine, then take whatever that inside function is and solve for that by, whether it requires to add or subtract first. In this case, it's just 8x. So how would you get x by itself? Divide by 8. So we divide everything by 8. That's what we did there to get our x value. So once again, we're just kind of applying everything that we were doing before.